Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Obviously, within Warzone 2 here, we are always focusing on the gunsmith, the best setups for the best meta weapons and whatnot. And an issue that we've had here in Warzone 2 pretty much up until this point in time is the attachment stats not being fully available. Obviously, in game, you have the plus recoil steadiness, plus concealment, minus ADS speed, but you're not getting exact values there. And basically you have to rely on these stupid bars, which are really not all that accurate. As we've talked about for many years now, you're not to trust these bars because the difference in, that slightly green line on damage and range says that, the Echoless might be this much better, but you're not getting exact values there. So it could be a lot worse than what you might think, or a lot better than you might think. However, sim.gg has now updated their site with the exact attachment values for certain things like recoil control. They've already had some available, but now they have even more. And so today what I wanted to focus on is our list of underbarrels here, because this is a very common question I'm getting, Zach, which underbarrel is truly the best? Because obviously we have a lot of these that are basically all the same pros and all the same cons, plus stability, plus accuracy, plus stabilization. Same deal here, same deal here. Same deal here. You can go over to some other ones as well, like the larger underbarrels here, the foregrips and whatnot, plus recoil, plus hipfire recoil, plus steadiness. Same deal here, like similar pros between these. So now we can actually go through and see which is truly the exact best based on the actual in-game data mined values. So as you can see, we are on sim.gg, and attachment stats beta, attachment movement speed, recoil, and sway stats are now working. Keep in mind, we're focused on recoil control here. So basically what I have is the M4, and we're gonna go through all the underbarrels here. Now, of course, some of them are not meant for recoil control in certain, pros like that. So they're gonna show up as like empty over here, or some are gonna have different values here that we can see, but we can actually go through these one by one and basically get a really good breakdown of what is actually doing what in game, which is huge for creating the right setup and making sure you're not making mistakes with your loadout. So obviously the master key doesn't matter. We're not really paying attention to that. What we do have here though is the commando foregrip, and you can see with their values here, you can sometimes get a couple of different things. Obviously this is increasing the ADS time a little bit by 26 milliseconds. And I can actually zoom in a little bit more here for this. This commando foregrip, 26 millisecond increase to the ADS time, 13 millisecond increase to the time to exit the ADS. So it's slowing it down a bit. But then the view kick and the gun kick, so that is your visual actual recoil being reduced, then also the gun's pattern being reduced as well. And you can see it's doing it by about 3% here. So decent there. And basically the way to figure out which of these is the best is to look at the obvious decrease to the recoil and the view kick here and the gun kick, but also how much it's slowing it down and balancing that out. So commando foregrip, not bad at all. The edge obviously is going to slow it down even more. It's going to have a slightly slower ADS time. We're looking at, a 14 milliseconds difference there, but it's also going to give you an extra % in your recoil reduction. So in this case, if you're going for all out recoil control, edge would be better than commando. But if you're going for some recoil control, but you want still a slightly faster build, commando would be better. And we can look at this for every single attachment as well. The demo firm grip is actually hurting your mobility while also giving you that 4% increase to recoil control as well. So it's going to hurt your forward move speed a little bit, your strafe speed a little bit, and then also your ADS strafe speed there behind the face cam. The Gravedigger, which I'm pretty sure is a monster truck, it actually is helping out your control again by 3%, only 26 millisecond reduction on that ADS time versus something like the Ripper, which oftentimes is what I'm using because this is going to give you that 4% increase to recoil control, 40 milliseconds. So yes, it's going to be a little bit slower to ADS, and it's going to hurt your mobility a tad bit, but the way I see it, you're getting the most control here. You can tune for even better control there for the view kick and the gun kick, and eventually I do believe sim is going to actually have the option to throw in tuning options here and really give us like those super detailed stats. But you're getting the most benefit here out of control, and you're slowing it down some. That is not going to be a huge factor when you build on other attachments that help out ADS speed, and you can tune for the faster ADS speed. So Ripper is looking particularly good there. Clean shot here, you can see is going to have a very minimal impact on your ADS time, but it's hardly doing anything. A 1% increase to your recoil control. So something like that, not really going to do all that much. The IMP-44 here, again, pretty basic, and you can see some of these attachments are doing the exact same things. Like this one is a 3% reduction, and then Commando is a 3% reduction. Commando's not hurting your mobility as much, but it's doing the same amount of, control benefits as the IMP would. So really, there's no reason to use the IMP over something like the Commando because you're just getting more cons out of that. And that's why these details and these stats are so important. And just keep in mind, as we are going through all this, if you guys are new to the channel, every single day, I got you covered with news, updates, class setups, tips, everything you need to succeed here in MW2, Warzone 2, and DMZ. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. That way you can always guarantee you're up to date with all things going on. Also, if you guys enjoy this video, if you find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. Let's try and aim for 2,000 likes on this one. Now, some of these you can see are just not going to be applicable, or they don't have the full stats yet because they're still, messing with certain things here. So things like the Agent, they don't have the stats for. Brew and Sync, same deal with the X10 drop, although we know that is helping out with stability basically. The Nexus here, again, you're getting very minimal ADS reductions there in terms of your speed, but you're only getting a 1% increase in your actual controls, so not super great, but your cons are pretty minimal. The Phase 3 is another super popular one in comparison to things like the Ripper, and you can see here it's about half the speed on the ADS time, 20 millisecond decrease versus 40, but it's only half the control benefits while still slowing down your movements. So there's not really a huge reason to use Phase 3 over something like the Ripper. Then we get into some of the other basic grips like the Merc, the Lock Grip. These ones are going to help out obviously with your hip fire accuracy as well and focus a little bit less on stabilization. Now the Merc, pretty common choice, slower than some of those other ones for that larger payoff in terms of recoil control. The Lock Grip Precision, you can see though, offers the same slowdown, the same view kick, the same gun kick, but it doesn't have the movement cons that the Merc has. So there's no reason to use something like the Merc over the Lock Grip Precision. Again, stat values that we previously had no idea were a part of these attachments that are now being, shown light on, which make a huge difference in your overall setup here. The Tango, you can see, a little bit faster for ADS time, but not doing as much for the gun kick, but doing a little bit more for the view kick. So that's a solid option. OPX9, again, hurting your overall movement speed there with your forward movement and your strafe movement. Not too bad on the ADS times, but not crazy on the view kicks. And Schlager, you can see here, the Tango is not hurting your movement speed, so you wouldn't want to use the OPX9 over the Schlager there for the added cons there. Operator is not really valid here. Wrecker is not valid. Several of these are just not applicable for what sim is showing here. You also have things like the Backdraft, again, hurting your movement speed, so you wouldn't want to use that over other ones. Basically, when you're looking at this, you want to minimize the cons, especially if those view kick values and the control values are similar. If it's within a couple of percent of one another, you just want to go for the one that's not going to absolutely destroy your overall movement speed there that you can see at the bottom just above the face cam. ADS time, like I said, not really a huge deal. The bipods are also going to offer a ton of control here, but you can see they are ridiculously slow. 118 milliseconds added onto your ADS time for 7% and 6% respectively on your view kick and your gun kick. The level, not even going to help out with your control there according to sim. Cornerstone, same deal. X10 stable, same deal. Warrior Grip here, it's going to hurt your movement a lot compared to something like the Ripper or even something like the Operator or the Merc 4 grips. It's not going to be crazy on your ADS time, but your movement speed gets hurt a lot there. The Tiger Grip here, minimal payoffs for the overall percentage and still hurting your overall movement speed there, so that's not a great option. And then these are obviously other ones that are not going to be applicable. Then lastly, we got the Pineapple, which again hurts your ADS a little bit, hurts your overall movement a decent amount, and is really focused on that gun kick control with that 9% increase there. So overall, the main standouts to me are going to be things like the Commando, obviously the Ripper, which we've been using for quite some time, and then also the Lock Grip Precision. Those to me, in terms of using an Underbarrel for control, are clearly the three standouts here in terms of getting good percentages for your actual recoil control, increases there to make the gun easier to use, but also not having those extra cons like the penalties to your forward and your strafe movement speed, and the ADS times not really being a huge deal. So definitely some very, very important stats to pay attention to there when you're building your loadouts. If you guys want to see this for other categories, feel free to let me know down in the comments below if you want to see this broken down for the muzzles, for the suppressors, the compensators, so on and so forth. But if you guys enjoyed, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you guys are new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. That way you guys can always guarantee you're up to date with the latest going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.